Welcome to this next lecture. We will continue our discussion of recursive functions, but I will also introduce you to two other very powerful ideas. The first idea is an ability that we as programmers must develop. When somebody gives us a programming task, they will try to be as clear as possible about what they want. But as we shall see, sometimes we need to ask additional clarifying questions to make sure that we are solving the correct problem. The second big idea we will see is Python's way of representing textual data. We have seen that Python has a built-in type, str, which we call string. And strings are very powerful, as we shall see in this lecture. So let's get started. Here is our client, and our client has asked us to complete this Python function. And our client has been very helpful. She has already given us a good function name and a docstring that explains what this function is supposed to do. She's even given us a doc test. So as we read this given information, we might think that the task is very clear. But I want you to develop the ability to doubt that. Because please remember that in the real world, tasks are often ambiguous. Remember, our client is typically not a programmer. If she was a programmer, why is she asking us to write the code? She would have written the code herself, right? So it is our job to ask clarifying questions. So looking at this, we need to imagine what the client might have in her mind. Now, whatever she has in her mind, she has tried to explain this to us as clearly as she can imagine. But since she is not a programmer, she may have overlooked some things that we as programmers should be looking for. So it is our job to ask these questions. So for example, we want to count the number of digits in n, and if the n is 37, the answer is 2. That seems clear. But what if n was 100? Maybe our client is imagining that if the input is 100, then there are 3 digits, the 1, the 0, and the 0. And if that was in her mind, we can imagine why she said this, count the number of digits in n. But for the same articulation, she could also have been imagining the answer of 100 being 2. Maybe in her mind she's saying, well, a 100 has 2 digits, a 1 and a 0. And so she's expecting the answer 2. Now, which of these ideas is in our client's mind? Simply reading this, we don't know which of these ideas is in our client's mind. Now, it would have been helpful if the client had said, well, I mean the unique digits or the distinct digits. But our client is not a programmer, and these kinds of words like distinct may not come naturally to her. She might have expertise in many other domains that we are clueless about. So it's not her responsibility in this situation. It is our responsibility to ask, what about 100? Now, how do we ask the client? Well, in the real world, we would contact the client and make sure we get all our doubts cleared before we start programming. But this is not the real world. We are practicing this ability. So to help you develop this ability, I'm going to give you a link on CodeCheck. And so these kinds of problems are what we will see a lot of today. And these kinds of problems, which we will call Ask the Client problems, are what you will see on many of your programming assignments. We will give you a task, but before you solve that task, first check what is expected. And you can edit this region. You can give some inputs. So here, instead of a simple input like 37, you would actually type in 100. So let's go to this link and see what this interface looks like.